So you want to buy a house? That sounds great. Let's go over a few things you need to know and do first. I hear from people every day who are desperate to buy any house. They see their friends posting pictures of new backyards on social media. They feel pressure from their parents. They get caught up in the idea that owning a home equals success. Rushing into the biggest financial decision before you're ready is a recipe for disaster. A house should be a blessing, not something that keeps you awake at night worrying about the next payment. It's the American dream, not the American nightmare. Homeownership is great, but only on a solid financial foundation. We've been sold a lie. Stretch your budget to the limit to get in. Banks will gladly lend you more than you can afford because they profit from your debt. They don't care if you become house poor, where every last dime goes to your mortgage, leaving nothing for emergencies, leaving nothing for retirement, leaving nothing for a little bit of fun. We're going to change that. We'll walk through the right way to buy a house so you own it, and it doesn't own you. Before you scroll online listings or visit an open house, look inward at your financial situation. Are you truly prepared? Being prepared isn't just about a down payment. It's about having your entire financial life in order. Be intentional and disciplined. This isn't about depriving yourself. It's about empowering yourself. Make a plan. Work that plan. Step into homeownership with confidence, with peace, with the freedom to enjoy your new home, without the crushing weight of debt. First things first. You have to get your financial ducks in a row. This isn't the fun part, I know. It's not as exciting as looking at granite countertops, walk-in closets. But trust me, this is the most important part. Your first goal is to save up a strong down payment. I'm talking about a minimum of 20%. Why 20%? Because anything less means you'll be stuck paying for private mortgage insurance or PMI. PMI is a useless fee that protects the lender, not you. Saving up 20% proves discipline and gives you instant equity. Next up, let's talk about debt. You cannot, and I repeat, cannot move forward with a house purchase while you're drowning in other payments. That means you need to be debt-free except for your current rent. No car loans, no student loans, absolutely no credit card balances. Every dollar you send to a creditor is a dollar you can't use to build your future. Use the debt snowball method. List your debts smallest to largest. Attack the smallest one with everything you've got. Once it's gone, roll that payment into the next debt. You need your income to work for you, not for the banks. Now let's look at your credit score. You don't need to worship the FICO score, but a good score gets you a better interest rate, which can save tens of thousands over your loan. Finally, you must have a fully funded emergency fund before you buy a house. 3 to 6 months of household expenses saved in a separate, easy-to-access savings account. This is not your down payment. This is your life happens fund. When you own a home, things will break. The air conditioner will die in the middle of July. The roof will leak during a thunderstorm. The water heater will give up the ghost. All right, you've saved your down payment. You're debt-free. Your emergency fund is full. Now it's time to figure out how much house you can actually afford. And I'm not talking about the crazy number the bank says you can afford. The bank is in the business of lending money. The more you borrow, the more they make. They'll pre-approve you for an amount that will have you eating rice and beans for the next 30 years. We're not going to fall for that. We're going to use a rule of thumb that keeps you in control of your money and your life. It's simple, it's effective, and it will keep you from becoming house poor. Here is the key. Your monthly house payment should be no more than 25% of your monthly take-home pay. When I say house payment, that's principal, interest, property taxes, homeowners insurance, often called PITI. Some people might stretch this to 30%, but I want you to be gazelle intense and stick to that 25% mark if you can. Why? Because this leaves you with 75% of your income to live on, save for retirement, give generously, build wealth. It gives you margin, it gives you breathing room, it prevents your house from owning you. Let's do some quick math. If your family's combined take-home pay is $6,000 a month, what's 25% of that? It's $1,500. That means your maximum total monthly housing cost should be $1,500, not a penny more. This simple calculation, not the banker's loan offer, is what determines your real budget. You then take this monthly payment amount and work backward with a mortgage calculator to see what home price that supports after factoring in your 20% down payment. It might mean you have to buy a smaller house than you dreamed of, or maybe wait a little longer to save more, but it will be a house you can afford with peace. Don't fall into the trap of buying more house than you need. Our culture tells us that bigger is always better, but that's just not true. A bigger house means bigger utility bills, bigger property taxes, more rooms to furnish, more things to clean and maintain. It's a bigger headache. Buy a home that fits your family's needs right now, not a massive palace you hope to grow into one day. Now we need to talk about the mortgage itself. This is the tool that will help you buy the home, but choosing the wrong one can cost you a fortune and keep you in debt for decades longer than necessary. The bank will try to sell you on all sorts of crazy loan products, 30-year mortgages, adjustable rate mortgages, interest-only loans, you name it. They'll tell you a 30-year loan gives you a lower, more affordable monthly payment. That sounds tempting, doesn't it? But it's a trap. It's designed to keep you paying the bank for as long as possible. There is only one type of mortgage you should ever get: a 15-year fixed-rate conventional loan. Let me say that again. A 15-year fixed-rate mortgage. Fixed rate means your interest rate won't change. 15-year means you pay it off fast. That's the secret sauce. Yes, the monthly payment will be higher, but you will pay the loan off in half the time. You'll own your home free and clear 15 years sooner. Think about what you could do with the money you're not sending to the bank. Supercharge your retirement savings, pay for your kids' college, travel the world. Let's look at the math. Imagine a $300,000 loan on a 30-year mortgage at 7% interest. You'd end up paying over $418,000 in interest alone over the life of the loan. Your total cost would be more than $718,000 for a $300,000 house. That's insane. Now let's look at a 15-year mortgage at the same interest rate. You'd pay about $182,000 in interest. That's a savings of over $236,000. You save $250,000 just by choosing a shorter loan term. The higher payment builds equity faster and saves massive money. If you can't afford the payment on a 15-year mortgage based on our 25% rule, it means you can't afford the house. It's that simple. Don't let a banker or a real estate agent talk you into a 30-year loan just so you can get into the house. That's a short-sighted decision that will have long-term negative consequences. Stick to your principles. Wait a little longer. Save up a larger down payment. Look for a less expensive home. Your future self will thank you. Once you know your budget and have chosen the right type of mortgage, it's time to get serious with a lender. This is where you need to understand the huge difference between being pre-qualified and being pre-approved. Many people think they're the same thing, but honestly they are worlds apart. A pre-qualification is, well, kind of a joke. It's basically a 10-minute phone call where you tell a loan officer what you earn and what you have in the bank. They crunch a few numbers and give you a rough estimate of what you might be able to borrow. It's not based on any real verification and honestly holds almost no weight. A pre-approval, on the other hand, is the real deal. This is where the lender does their homework. You will have to provide actual documentation, pay stubs, W-2s, bank statements, tax returns, and they will pull your credit report. They will thoroughly vet your financial situation. After this process, they will issue a conditional commitment in writing for a specific loan amount. This pre-approval letter is as good as gold. It shows sellers and real estate agents that you are a serious, qualified buyer who has already done the legwork. In a competitive market, an offer from a pre-approved buyer is far more powerful than one from someone who is just pre-qualified. Now don't just go with the first lender you talk to. This is not the time to be lazy. You are shopping for the largest loan of your life, and you need to shop for a mortgage the same way you'd shop for a car or a new TV. You need to get quotes from multiple lenders. I recommend talking to at least 3 to 5 different mortgage companies, including local banks, credit unions, independent mortgage brokers. A mortgage broker can be a great resource because they can shop your loan application to dozens of different wholesale lenders to find you the absolute best deal. When you're comparing offers, don't just look at the interest rate. You need to compare the entire package: the rate, the closing costs, the lender fees, origination, underwriting, and the customer service. A tiny difference in the interest rate can save you thousands of dollars over the life of the loan. Don't be afraid to take one offer and use it to negotiate with another lender. Make them compete for your business. You are the customer, and you are in the driver's seat. Taking the time to shop around is a critical step that will ensure you get the best possible terms on your 15-year mortgage. You found a house you love, your offer has been accepted, and you're feeling on top of the world. Hold on a minute. We are not at the finish line yet. Never, ever skip the home inspection. I don't care if the house is brand new. I don't care if the seller is your sweet old grandmother. You must get a professional independent home inspection. Skipping this to save a few $100 is like playing Russian roulette with a few $100,000. It is, honestly, one of the dumbest financial mistakes you can make. A home inspection is where a qualified professional goes through the house with a fine-tooth comb to uncover any potential problems, big or small. They will examine the home's major systems: the roof, the foundation, the electrical wiring, the plumbing, the HVAC system, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, and the structural components. They will crawl into the attic and the crawl space, looking for signs of leaks, pests, mold, or shoddy workmanship. These inspectors are trained to spot issues that you would never notice. The inspector will then provide you with a detailed written report, complete with pictures, outlining everything they found. This inspection report is not meant to scare you, it's meant to inform you. No house is perfect, not even a new one. The report will likely come back with a list of items, ranging from minor things like a dripping faucet, to major red flags like a cracked foundation or an ancient electrical panel. This is where you put your emotions aside and look at the house as a business transaction. You have to evaluate the findings and decide what you're willing to live with and what needs to be addressed. This report is your single greatest negotiation tool after the price has been agreed upon. Armed with the inspection report, you go back to the seller. You can use the findings to negotiate in a few different ways. For major issues, you can ask the seller to make the repairs before closing. Alternatively, you can ask for a credit at closing, which reduces the amount of cash you need to bring to the table and leaves you with money to make the repairs yourself. For the most serious problems, like a bad foundation or widespread mold, the inspection gives you a legal and financially sound reason to walk away from the deal entirely, getting your earnest money back. The home inspection protects you from buying a money pit. Do not skip it. So you've budgeted for the down payment and you know your monthly mortgage payment. You're all set, right? Wrong. One of the biggest shocks for first-time homebuyers is the tidal wave of extra costs that come crashing down around the closing and move-in process. If you haven't planned for these, they can wipe out your savings and even put you into debt right at the start of your homeownership journey. Let's pull back the curtain on these so-called hidden costs so they don't ambush your budget. The first big one is closing costs. Closing costs are all the fees required to finalize the mortgage and transfer the property title to your name. These can be a huge expense, typically 2 to 5% of the loan. On a $300,000 home, that's $6,000 to $15,000 in cash at closing. These costs include lender origination fees, appraisal fees, title insurance, attorney fees, property taxes, prepaid homeowners insurance. Your lender must give you a loan estimate that details these costs, but budget them separately from your down payment. But wait, there's more. Once you get the keys, the spending doesn't stop. You have to move into the house. Moving costs can add up quickly. Hiring professional movers or renting a truck and bribing your friends with pizza and beer. Then you have to furnish the place. That beautiful new house can feel awfully empty. You'll need furniture, window treatments, appliances, and maybe a lawnmower for that new yard. It's easy to get carried away and swipe a credit card for thousands of dollars in new stuff, but that would be a huge mistake. Start with what you have and buy new things slowly, with cash, and finally, you have to budget for the ongoing costs of homeownership. Your monthly payment is just the beginning. You have to plan for higher utility bills, especially if you're moving from a small apartment to a larger house. You'll have new bills you may have never paid before, like water, sewer, and trash services, and most importantly, you need to budget for maintenance and repairs. A good rule of thumb is to set aside 1% of your home's value each year for maintenance. For a $300,000 house, that's $3,000 a year, or $250 a month, that you should be putting into a separate sinking fund just for home repairs. This way, when the dishwasher breaks, it's not an emergency. Buying a house is not a short-term investment strategy, it's a long-term lifestyle decision. I see too many people buy a home thinking they can sell it in a year or two for a big profit. That is not investing, that's gambling. And the house always wins. Due to the high upfront costs of buying and selling a home, closing costs, realtor commissions, moving expenses, you are almost guaranteed to lose money if you sell within the first few years. That's why you need to follow what I call the 5-year rule. You should not buy a house unless you are reasonably sure you will be staying in that home, in that city, for at least 5 years. Let's break down why. When you buy a house, you immediately pay thousands of dollars in closing costs. That money is gone. Then, when you go to sell, you'll typically pay a real estate agent's commission, often around 6% of the sale price. On a $350,000 house, that's a whopping $21,000. You also have to factor in the costs of preparing the house for sale. Moving expenses, potential seller concessions. All these costs add up to a significant amount. It usually takes at least 5 years for the home's value to appreciate enough to cover all these transaction costs and allow you to break even, let alone make a profit. Think of the first few years of your mortgage payments. In the beginning, the vast majority of your payment goes toward interest, not principal. You are building equity very, very slowly. If you sell too soon, you won't have paid down much of the loan balance. For example, after 5 years on a 30-year mortgage for $300,000 at 7%, you would have paid over $119,000 in payments, but only reduced your loan balance by about $25,000. The other $94,000 went straight to the bank as interest. This is another reason why a 15-year mortgage is so powerful. It helps you build equity much faster, giving you more flexibility. So, before you buy, have an honest conversation with yourself. Where do you see your life in the next 5 years? Is your job stable? Are you planning to start a family? Are you planning to have more children? Are you happy in your current city? If there's a strong possibility you might need to relocate for a job, or that your life circumstances will change dramatically, then you should wait. Continue to rent and save aggressively. Renting is not throwing money away, it's buying you flexibility. Buying a house should provide stability, not trap you in a situation that no longer fits your life. We've walked through the practical step-by-step process of buying a home the right way. But the final step is the most personal one. It's about looking in the mirror and asking yourself, am I truly ready? This isn't just a financial question, it's an emotional one. Are you buying a house because you have a well-thought-out plan and it's the right time for you and your family? Or are you buying because you feel pressured? You have to tune out all that noise and focus on your own journey. Focus on your own timeline. Focus on your own financial peace. True readiness is a feeling of quiet confidence, not anxious excitement. It's knowing that you've done the hard work and are making a wise, deliberate choice. So, I urge you to be patient. When the time is right, you'll know. You'll step into homeownership as a blessing that you can enjoy for years to come, a place where you can build memories and build wealth at the same time. That's how you win with money, and that's how you turn the American dream into your reality. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. It will help us grow and reach more people.